Welcome back to Dreamhack Summer 2011. We are already about to begin day 2 action here, and we had some insane results yesterday. For any of you who do not know, I am Day 9.
And I'm D'Apollo.
D'Apollo, tell us a little bit about what went down yesterday in those matches we got to cast.
Yeah, let's basically look over the groups. So Group A yesterday, we had Jimpo, Moman, Naniwa, Rhett, Strelok, and Tyler. The two that went through there, Naniwa 5-0 in that group, followed by Rhett, who went 3-2, I think.
Yeah, and I think that is a pretty expected result, given those players' recent results in tournaments.
Group B, yesterday, we had Braddock, Dystar, Demaga, Morrow, Nightend, and Soke. First in that group was Braddock, followed by Soke. And that was a little bit interesting group, because a lot of people would have expected Morrow and Demaga to go through there. So that's kind of interesting, especially Braddock coming out of nowhere to this first Dreamhack event and taking that group down. Group C was the controversial group, really, between Grubby, Idra, Mers, Namakas, and Sase. Sase surprisingly taking the win in that group 5-0.
That definitely is the upset of the tournament thus far. I mean, Sase has been performing absolutely remarkably well. I mean, all of his wins are not goofy cheeses. They are straight up solid games all the way through.
And then Group D, we had Adele Scott, Cloud, MC, Nogrim, Sen, and TT1. Guess who won that group, guys? MC 5-0, super standard, followed by Sen, who went 4-1. And I think that's pretty much expected results there. Sen coming over, fantastic Zerg. MC obviously cleaning house, as he does in every other tournament he enters. And then we kind of touched in a couple of the other groups, but didn't really get too far into them yesterday. We saw Moon play against Tarson, and then also Thorzane versus Jelizig. But today, some pretty interesting games.
Yeah, today we have an insane first 3 matches coming up. It's going to open up with Haypro versus Happy. Happy, the 90% win rate Terran on ladder, the #1 ranked Grandmaster right now. Haypro has been in Korea for a very long time, honing those skills on Team Liquid OGS House training grounds. After that, we're going to have Bomber versus Happy, which honestly is my highlight match of the morning, followed by Bomber versus Mana. Mana, the 2nd place winner at last year's, last year's Winter Dreamhack event. So I'm really excited to see a different sort of clash of styles, because we've seen all these top Europeans do so well in the European scene. We haven't really seen the interaction cross-continent.
Definitely. And if you guys did miss any of them games yesterday, you can go ahead and find them at
day9tv.blip.tv. July Thorzane just got uploaded there. I don't know if anyone here got the chance to see July Thorzane, but that series was incredible. That was absolutely the best series of the day. I mean, could not believe the caliber of play. Thorzane, though he did narrowly... Actually, I won't even say what ended up happening in that series. Narrowly something happened there. Definitely go check it out. It was one of the really the best series of StarCraft 2 I have yet seen.
That was awesome.
And Thorzane did also go on to win his next round. So a lot of people are excited to see Thorzane may be able to advance through.
Yeah, actually,
to the limbs.
TSL 3 champion, that's a feat in itself. And obviously performing extremely well in MLG, taking out Idra, and then also going with an epic series against MC. The extended bracket version thing. Where he went and ended like 4-2, I think, overall. But taking games off MC, I mean, that's insane. But the games, like you mentioned before, Haypro versus Happy is going to be the first game of today, and that's going to be pretty interesting.
First map is on Metalopolis, and I mean, I think Happy is more known for a lot of his TVP stability. Haven't really gotten the chance to see a lot of his Terran versus Zerg, but I do know that he loves playing very standard. He doesn't do any sort of goofy shenanigans. He's the sort of player who really likes doing the same build over and over and over again and having it absolutely perfected. Let's see if he's going to be able to match up against Haypro. And hey, it looks like both the players are in the game, so D'Apollo, looks like we're getting started.
Let's get this going, and the countdown has begun, and I'm excited for this. Liquid Haypro versus Happy, Team Liquid Star versus the Ladder Star, I suppose you could say. And let's go ahead and go into this game.
It's going to be starting right now. Game 1 of the day, Haypro versus Happy. Good to have everyone showing up this morning. There's already a gigantic rainstorm out right now.
It's so cold and rainy here. It was like okay yesterday morning. It was nice and kind of sunny and warm. And then all of a sudden, it was like rain, Sweden, cold. And as you can see here, we do have Haypro spawning in the top left-hand side as the blue Zerg in this game. And then also in the bottom right-hand side, we have Happy, the 90% ladder pro, who has been dominating with insane results on that ladder. Let's see how he performs in this large debut on Dreamhack Summer here.
Yeah, I mean, in these positions, Happy's going to have a little bit easier time doing his drops, but we haven't really seen him do a lot of too much drop action in the early stages. It's really going to be Haypro's big Mutalisk play. We've seen him very, very strong with those style of Mutalisks. And so we'll see if Haypro will be able to pull in.
He comes in with the Overlord, isn't going to quite reveal it yet, and is going to move down. Let's see what he's going to go, where he's going to go with this Overlord. Will he go down to the barracks to see where that will be placed? And does he decide to turn around, or will he continue with that? I'm really interested to see Haypro's style, because he did spend so much time in Korea, and now has moved over to the pro house within Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, Haypro, really, really well known for being a big, massive gaming player. So we'll see if it's going to pay off. We do see that the barracks is going down right now. The refinery is up as well, so it's going to be some sort of tech opening. And, you know, I've seen a lot of Happy's games in TVZ. Very, very much so expecting for him to do some sort of double Hellion build. He absolutely loves that opening.
Yeah, indeed. And so we have 15 hatch gone down now for Haypro. And SCV is on its way over now. And let's have a look into Happy's base now. The barracks has been completed. Marine on its way, and refinery has gone up. And I wouldn't be surprised if Happy did decide to go for some kind of reactor Hellion opening. I've seen him use that quite a lot, and it's so efficient when you get up to that 6. And if you're fighting only against Zerglings and so on, you can do a lot of damage, especially if you micro well. We'll have to see if Haypro does decide to go for a Roach Warren, or does he use all his gas to go straight up for that Spire Tech.
So Haypro now, you know, doing, I think, a really smart technique that a lot of players do, building those extra drones before the pool, because, you know, the bunker rushes are suddenly becoming just very, very less threatening. And look at Happy doing some very smart micro right there with that SCV, trying to maximize the amount of time that it ends up building that bunker. Now we see the Marine has arrived, is shooting now down at that SCV, forces a cancel, but I don't think Happy, oh my god, Happy is going to re-go for the bunker pressure.
And he's going to have to see the bunker. Not going to complete Marine here now, but this great location, great pressure, forcing a lot of drones. He's got 2 Marines now, and drones are having to be pulled off. 6 slings are about to pop out, though, and a lot of damage going on.
Like Happy might be able to get a couple of drones, and he gets 1. If he gets that second drone, that will be a good attack. Maybe he'll even get 3. Uh-oh, and he does. Very nice early pressure there by Happy, forcing the cancel, but you know what? This is what makes Happy a brilliant player, Diapollo. He is getting the double Hellion opening, but after he has done a huge amount of pressure with that initial bunker rush, so Happy is already in an excellent position, but will these Zerglings arrive a little bit too soon? We do see that factory does land, 2 Hellions getting produced right now, and Haypro is not going to be happy to see that, but he's already going to begin trying to work down on these supply depots, seeing any amount of damage that he can do. If he can do some amount of hurt early on, that's going to be beneficial no matter what. Command Center now going down for Happy. We'll be establishing an expansion. We already see that the Gas Geyser is going down for Haypro. There's also a Spine Crawler going down as well. Okay. So Liquid Haypro is going to be in a pretty reasonable position, but the double Hellion opening is honestly one of the strongest openings. You can transition out of it so easily, and Happy going to go for that guaranteed damage. He's going to be trying to pick off those Zerglings as quickly as he can. And oh, Haypro with no speed, getting taken out, losing almost all those Zerglings. Very nice split there by Haypro, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and now more Hellions are coming up the right-hand side. We'll be able to do a lot of damage. We do have a Queen blocking the ramp, though. That's going to be very vital in the defense here. And a Roach Warren at the back of that natural is going to help defend once he can get a few out when it finally goes up. But 4 Hellions about to come in are going to cause a lot of havoc on this mineral line. 1 drone goes down, 2 drones go down. How many more will he be able to get? Great block off the ramp, but Happy doing a lot of economical damage while getting his own command center up in the back.
Uh-oh, great placement on the Roach Warren, locking in all those Hellions. Happy cannot retreat. Haypro doing a strong surround, and Happy manages to get into the main, doing massive damage. Happy just crushing, now moving in towards the worker line. Remarkably high kill count on all of these Hellions. I mean, just excellent, excellent opening thus far by Happy.
Well, I don't know how Haypro actually expects to defend against Hellions without even having the speed upgrade for his Zerglings. There are no roaches there, and I'm just going to go ahead and look at the workers killed. It is 15 workers killed for Happy, just with a few standardized Hellions. And the great transition has been switched over now. Stim is, well, 60-70% complete. And we do have a factory with a tech lab and the command center just about to finish with the orbital command. And the unit tab now, 32 drones still. That's quite high compared to 26 SCVs. But a lot of damage has been done. And as you can see, there are no units anywhere for Haypro. He cannot afford to build anything. And Haypro trying to get in there to get some scanning information. And Overlord does get chased out on the right-hand side.
And you know, I mean, Sean, I talked about this a lot yesterday, that one of my absolute favorite transitions out of the Blue Flame opening was just a really fast stim and a really fast tank play. Happy, in fact, getting it so quickly that he won't even have enough units to make the push. He only has 3 Marines. But my God, are they ready to take some special stim drugs and feel great, Sean?
It's 4 now, let's go.
Likely they're going to be able to get that combat shield up unusually quickly, meaning that Happy could come up with a mega strong push, but Haypro doing the Nest T style faster third. Going to use the roaches to help him stay alive.
Well, Haypro definitely has to be cutting corners now because he lost so much early on that he cannot afford to build too many units. He has to go all drones. And even getting that third is a bit of a risk, really, against this kind of aggressive style from Happy. But at the moment, it will be able to work out for him as Happy is on the defensive foot. He's got a defensive siege tank position up on the higher ground. And we look at the unit cancellation now, 44 drones, 4 more in production, 48 in total, I suppose, when they're all added up together. But I won't be surprised if we saw Happy push out, you know, once he's got 2, maybe 3 tanks. But it looks like maybe 2 tank push with a medivac, most likely incoming. An Overlord is going to go in and get some information, but will easily get shot down here.
You know, I will say I'm a little bit surprised that Happy has not yet gotten some sort of combat shield upgrade up. I mean, that's like one of the essential upgrades there. Finally is going down. It's going to delay Happy's push by a good amount. If he does decide to push now, I'd be a little shocked. One thing that I always have a lot of admiration for Haypro's play, look at this creep tumor spread. Absolutely gooping up the center. Now, look at how many active creep tumors there are. Has spent a ton of Queen energy pumping those out, and uh-oh, Happy gearing up for a push. Haypro going to need to begin that roach production.
And how many units do we have? We have 5 roaches, a bunch of banelings being morphed, a counterattack with lings, but to what end? They get in the bunker and they're not going to be ready. Oh, actually, if they get in the base, oh, great pickup from Happy.
Doing just absolute easy cleanup here. Haypro getting denied. Happy really demonstrating why he has that 90% win rate. On the ladder, he just plays so solidly. There's the scan, doing the siege up and elevator time, moving to the high ground. No speed yet for those roaches.
And this is going to be extremely hard for Haypro to do anything against this. These siege tanks in great location. Zergling are being morphed now. 10 more to come out, but will Haypro be able to get enough units out to fight against this? It's going to be extremely close.
And oh my gosh, no speed quite yet for either the Banelings or the Roaches, but now barely finishing up. We see Combat Shield is done. There's another very nice split stim by Happy. Still has a good amount of medevac energy, still continuing to advance forward with good numbers of Marines, but Happy's money getting a little high. And it looks like Haypro goes in for the kill, does some great surrounding action, but no, Happy with the incredible control will be able to crush that push.
In comes another elevator. Will he be able to continue, or will he push out now? It looks like where the reinforcements from Happy, a lot of idle units on the natural here. A tank, 6 odd Marines. And he's got to be super careful. 16 links in production. They could easily go ahead and surround all these units of Happy now. And will he be able to move down? He's going to swing around to this third base, but I'm not sure if this is the best choice here.
I mean, ordinarily, I would say this is a terrible idea, but look at that. Peeling all those units away so we can do a drop in the main. Oh, Happy now doing a great job distracting. There's the push. Can he pick off the Banelings? The answer looks like it's going to be yes. Does manage to pick them off in the main. We see the Marines doing some great cleanup, are going to lift and retreat, and Haypro with the amazing defense does manage to stay alive.
I mean, it's one thing to attack on 2 different fronts, but it's another thing to defend on 2 fronts. So that was really impressive by Haypro to control both sides. Defending, split up his units. They're very nicely controlled there by both players. You look at the supply count, 116, 120 versus 89 now. Happy trying to get up this third base. But now Haypro stabilizing a little bit more, is up to that 75 drone mark, and is in a comfortable position now. Needs to get these Vespene Geysers up so he can continue with upgrades and that Mutalisk production.
You know, and I love that point you bring up, that it's definitely like much harder to defend 2 places at once than it is to attack. Because when you attack 2 places at once, your logic is, well, if one of them works, I'll be in good shape. But when you defend, you have to hold both grounds. So Haypro doing an incredible job, smartly splitting up his units. Happy, though, is going for the 3rd base. Not what Haypro wants to see at this point in time. So very, very nice play thus far by both players. Still an extremely even match.
Okay, and just looking at Mutalisk are moving around, and in the top left we do have a Medivac full of Marines that could go and harass this 3rd base. Happy waiting for the right time, and that is the time now. He is going to come. Where are the Mutalisks? Are nowhere to be found. They are harassing Happy, so this is going to be able to do a lot of damage here. These Marines going to go ahead and stim.
Oh no, Mutalisk trying to pick off the tanks, but the Marines at the back, haven't done anything yet.
Go!
Looks like Haypro, oh no, Happy misses a big window of opportunity. Very, very unusual for his caliber of play. The Roach is going to march in, and it looks like Happy might not even notice at all, is going to lose most of these Marines, and now the Mutalisks arrive to clean up another free medevac for Haypro.
Indeed, and another drop is going to be heading into the main. Consistent drops over and over. Could get at least 2 queens here if he gets right into the middle of it, while pushing out with a lot of Marines here, with +1 just now finished for these bio units.
Happy a little bit behind on the upgrades, but still definitely up in front with the aggression. Has those 5 siege tanks out. Siege tanks will let you begin those big pushes. They can pick off the Roaches and Banelings with relative ease, and we see that Haypro is actually having a little bit of trouble in terms of unit organization. And meanwhile, in the main, we see a drop coming in, doing a good amount of damage. And again, with the double-pronged attack, Happy will be able to take out the left base. He loses a medevac, but great positioning by Happy.
In the main base there of Haypro, Happy managed to kill 2 queens, a bunch of drones with just a single medevac Marine drop while taking out that 4th base, and now moving up to this 3rd base, and in comes Haypro.
Uh-oh, will he be able to take out the Banelings? Get some great shots right off the bat, but it looks like Happy will get cleaned up. Haypro still having the superior forces, but Happy gaining a lot of ground with these planetary fortresses. And as we go to the Liquid Haypro cam, we are seeing that he is just zipping all around the map, trying to continue with all his macro. We see him getting those plus upgrades. And look at the vision in Haypro in the center. We do see a huge push advancing forward.
And Happy is moving around with a few Marines. Haypro can't really do too much damage here. Siege tanks are up on the natural, and this planetary fortress is going to deny any form of harassment on that 3rd base. And these Mutalisks are just going to continue to move around the map, try to pick out any weakness points of Happy, but there really aren't too many.
And you know, I really love the little things that Happy does, like just leaving that 1 Marine at the left base. It means that Haypro is going to have to delay that extra base by a long time. And look at that money from Haypro up at 3,000. In the meantime, though, Mutalisk sweeping into the main, trying to do some heavy damage there. And Happy, though, will be able to defend, loses a tech lab, but has that Thor almost out.
54 lings in production now. 186 food versus 135. A lot of units now are out for Haypro. And we do have the Panathan clans being researched for those infestors to increase their energy. In comes the Mutalisk harassment, but not really being able to do too much damage here. Great vision that Haypro does have. Oh, loses a lot to that Thor, actually.
3 Thors out right now. 4 Happy, doing some incredible transitioning at this point. And you know, one thing I want to note, Diapollo, I don't think that Haypro has really had the chance to do any direct damage to Happy all game long. I mean, look at how lockdown Happy is in the main. 7 missile turrets. The constant dropping, the constant attacking has put Haypro on the defensive footing. And now that Haypro is finally stabilizing, does he have the setup that he needs to take it to late game?
And we'll have to see if he does. It looks like Happy is going to be moving to the center, trying to gain this goal position. And this is going to be very important for his late game development. And if he can secure this position, it's going to be great for him. And like you did mention, the 7 missile turrets inside the main going to really help, as all his units are going to be in the middle of the map now. And these Mutalisks are going to go into the main, but not really too many turrets on this left-hand side.
Haypro looks like he's going to try to take out a lot of missile turrets. He should be loading up those Thors to defend if he wants to keep that main alive. But instead, Sensor Tower is going to fall, going to shut down the vision control of Happy. Going to target fire that factory, pick off the tech lab, but this is going to be a really scary push. And oh, flying right over those units, has to siege fast, pulling the Marines back. Perfect repositioning by Happy.
Wow, these Banelings doing a lot of damage, but there are so many more Marines left over. But I think that Haypro has more than enough. There is a drop on the left-hand side, doing a lot of damage to these drones at the same time. But the core army of Happy demolished once again. But he did get that gold base up and running, which is going to enable him to reinforce so well.
Happy has some of the best Marine versus Baneling micro I have ever seen, and now takes down the 5th expansion. Another medevac going to fall for Happy, but he never seems to care. He's going to continue to produce them 2 at a time, stay alive as long as possible, and oh, doing some great target firing on those Mutalisks. The Roaches, though, arrive to clean it up.
Happy's definitely brought some pest control to this map to kill all these hatcheries over and over and over. And now with this gold base up and running, he's going to have a huge spike of money income, which is going to help him a lot to continue to reinforce that. But he doesn't, to be honest, he doesn't really have that many production facilities. And we have 4 barracks, 5 on the natural, but 5 barracks at this stage of the game is really not that high.
Yeah, you know, Happy has great builds, almost perfect in-battle decision-making, and some of the best micro I've ever seen. But the one weakness that we have seen again and again in this game is Happy's macro. Does not have enough unit-producing structures. At the start of the game, almost at 1,000 minerals as he was doing that Hellion harassment. Happy could potentially lose if Haypro does get this Greater Spire up. I mean, Haypro might even correctly sack a lot of these units to free up food for more Broodlords, but right now he will not need to. Oh, those Corruptors starting to bunch up. Could see Broodlords very soon.
Broodlords are going to be on the way very, very shortly, and it looks like Haypro should not be engaging there at all. Do not ever try to crack down a Planetary Fortress with a bunch of siege tanks. You are going to lose more than you will ever gain from that, and it looks like Happy moving up the right-hand side with the few Marines, just taking control of that Xelnugget Tower, very important. But this Broodlord Infestor combination is going to soon be in the mix. And what does Happy really have to combat this? He doesn't have any Vikings, doesn't have any Ghosts. It's going to be very hard for him from here.
Yeah, Happy is in the worst position for a Terran. When Terran cannot maintain the aggressive edge, Terran needs to attack in this matchup, especially when Broodlords pop up. The big key for Happy is, can he cut down on these Mutalisk numbers with these drops like this? You want to pick off the Mutalisk, because if there's no Mutalisk, suddenly your drops are going to be much stronger. It doesn't even matter if there's Broodlords. One drop is going to fall easily, but is Happy getting too big? I honestly think the edge is slowly going on over to Haypro, and as these 7 Broodlords move out, it's going to be a very tough win for Happy.
Happy is trying to get control of this 5th base down here, but there is a Zergling borrowed here. Very smart move. Another drop by Happy on the left-hand side coming across, but Haypro well prepared for this. In come the Mutalisks. This should be a very easy cleanup.
Oh, and look at all the Spine Crawlers beginning to push up. Haypro kills another dropship, his 10th this game.
Oh my god, these Broodlords out of position a little bit though.
Oh no, oh, losing one Broodlord. Can he get up in time? And it looks like, wow, Happy pulls back, saving his Marines from a key fungal growth, but it looks like Happy is still in a very rough situation. Oh my god, Diapollo, that is going to be a tough fight for Happy to win.
There is nothing here to combat these Broodlords at all. Viking production only just now started. He's not going to have near enough out. And Broodlord's going to town on all these units. And Haypro can't even get his 5th base up because of that one Zergling. And now the entire army of Haypro is moving in.
Uh-oh, we see the tanks sieging up for Happy. We see that the upgrades for Terran are at 2-2. They are the tanks raining down fire from above. Broodlord still number 5. There's the scans by Happy to get a good continuous count on those numbers. Broodlings in the main doing a little bit of damage. But right now we do see that Haypro's going to go for it. Will the Planetary Fortress reinforce enough? Target firing on the Banelings. Tanks are going to get absolutely demolished. Happy trying to split, but he just simply does not have enough Marines. And Haypro manages to break mid.
It looks pretty bad for Happy if he loses this gold. He's trying to repair that Planetary Fortress, but can he be able to do it? And Broodlords are really going to town. There's just nothing here to help out. Even reinforcements of Happy getting caught off. Banelings and Lings doing damage to these Marines and that Thor. And slowly the Planetary Fortress is about to go down, and it does go down on that gold expansion. And that is the key point of Happy's central position, and that is it. That is down. Haypro dominance right now.
Haypro held on, dealt with drop after drop after drop, and in one big swoop is now taking out Happy. I mean, getting that perfect late game mix, tons of Infestors, Broodlords, and Corruptors, but you're noticing that Haypro is able to move a lot faster than we saw Morrow move yesterday when he was playing in his early ZVTs. I mean, Happy being very, very aggressive, but Haypro countering with late game aggression of his own. Oh my god, that is so many Broodlords.
How many is that in total now? That's a lot. It's 7 moving down now. And gonna continue, what, 2 tanks and a handful of Marines. Doesn't look like it is gonna be enough. 115 supply for Happy, 174 Haypro, and the Infested Terran's been brought into the army as well, and slowly now he will take control of this natural. The Swarm is taking complete control on this map.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings are there to deal a little bit of damage, but so many fungal growths take them down. Happy gives a good game. The first match of the day will be going to Liquid Haypro, who's actually not been able to put a lot of big results on the table. But unfortunately for Happy, this is not the Ladder D Apollo. This is a real live tournament. And he's putting a loss under his belt, but still has a pretty strong result in that first game.
Yeah, and looking over Haypro's results recently, he really hasn't been performing, I don't even think at all really in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
You look at his recent NASL record, it's 2-7. Compared to the likes of Rhett, who was like 8-1 or so. And I mean, he hasn't had any success really in the GSL, couldn't really qualify for the Code A, and once he dropped out of Code A, he then moved back to Sweden, but has that Sweden Pro Gaming House training with the likes of TLO, Show, Bisu, has that helped him to regain his confidence, and maybe after taking Happy down, but Happy not quite performing the same as he does on the ladder.